it seems like bizarre that it was so much easier when I was on drugs. And I keep noticing this pattern in my life where it's like, but then again, there's a reason why people do drugs, because it can be easier at times. Hey, what's up, TJ? Welcome.
How you doing?
What's up?
Yo, what's good? How you doing?
I'm good. I also have someone named CJ backstage, but I'm afraid.
What are you afraid of?
Porn bomb. Someone just the other day said, like, just started yelling the N-word. CJ, if you put on your camera and there's no dick there, things might be different.
Yeah, that's pretty reckless.
But how have you been? How's it going? It's been a while.
Yeah, it has been a while. I mean, the spiritual attacks have gotten crazier, but I'm honestly stronger, better, faster, all that. See, the thing is, though, the difference is I am thankful for adversity. Mm-hmm. I am thankful for having things to overcome. And like my health insurance was gone. I was freaking out because I need my Suboxone, right? Like, I can't live without this. It saves my life. I don't desire to get hot, just like you. God cured me of the whole desire to, shoot up drugs and all that stuff. So I'm grateful for that, right? But the problem is, I was like worried about what I'm gonna do. Supposedly it's kicking on in July. But I was worried about my income.
Stressful with the health insurance. I know that pain is so annoying. It's like they're always just playing with your life. Like health insurance, this clinic issue, that, they make it so hard to try to be good.
It's easier to just be bad and then get rewarded for it. Like if you want to go to rehab, you have to get high.
To yourself in the long run. And you kind of in the same I vibe with that of like appreciate in the broad scheme. I appreciate the adversity once I've gotten through it more, and I try to remind myself when I am suffering, like this is temporary, and I always look back and I wouldn't change my struggles. I feel like they did make me a much stronger person, and they shaped me. And I got a little hazed by life, but that's my story, and I can use that story to hopefully inspire others, that you can turn your life around at any point, and you're like that too. It's so important, especially in like addiction circles. Like a lot of people rely on AA, but not a lot of people want to go out, and it can help just to hear people online talk about it.
No, absolutely. And the thing is, they should talk about it more, right? I feel like these things aren't discussed enough, and these issues that people have, like with the systems, with the health insurance, with the clinics and stuff like that, like it's actually a big problem. You know what I mean?
It's like a part-time job just to stay medicated for me. It feels like a part-time job. Literally, like I just got another like 30 hours subtracted from my week, so I have work, and I'm doing the channel, and now I have like another 30 hours of getting to the clinic, getting back, staying there, seeing counselors. Oh, there's this issue. Oh, there's that issue. Now you're punished for some dumb shit.
Oh man,
it's crazy.
How much are you praying? Because maybe God's just wanting more prayer time. I have no idea.
I feel like I have been trying to pray more, and in that moment, like I did really feel the struggle. Like I raged out. It really felt out of control. But then I was like coming back to myself, and I was like, all right, let's just like walk home. And I started like praying, but I also felt myself wanting to like plot revenge. I was like, I'm going to like do something like, and I don't usually
spiritual warfare.
Yeah, it felt like it. I don't usually feel vengeful or like I want to hurt anyone ever. But in that moment, I did. I found myself feeling, probably how like Grace feels every day, just like wanting to like get some weird revenge or like hurt people who she thinks have hurt her, I kind of understand that more. So in a way, it teaches you something,
I think she's hurt inside. Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. Like that is a fight and a battle that you have to go through, where it's like your flesh wants one thing, your spirit wants another. Like you know inside you what's right to do and how to be and what to say, but you end up doing what's wrong because this is weak. The flesh is weak, and I think Grace, right? She struggles a lot because she's got a restless spirit. That's why she's been hurt by people that are close to her, that love her or, assume to love her, right? Like family and friends and stuff like that. And she's trying to take that same hurt out on everybody else. She's trying to hurt everybody because she's hurt.
I mean, it sucks. She never had someone to instill, like, I'm so thankful to my parents that they taught me how to be resilient from adversity and how to be self-reflective and aware of other people's needs. And every bad impulse she has, like, you know, like some woman dropped $10 the other day and she waited until the woman walked away and like, or she grabbed it when the woman like wasn't looking. It was basically like a kind of theft. And Ben was like, oh, nice job getting that 10. And it's like, that's so, I don't know how all those little things, like, I wonder where the guilt goes. Are they experiencing that? Because for me, it would just feel so much better to be helpful to someone, because then you see this happy face, like, oh my God, thank you so much. Like, you know, that to me is much more rewarding than what? More headphones for Ben? Like, come on. Hey, Nikki.
Yeah, and it's kind of weird. It's almost like he's forcing Grace to be the wife that like his wife could never be. Like he's got like this weird fixation on like, oh, I got the, because he's a narcissist, right? Ben is a narcissist, and this is just me, you know what I mean, throwing some stuff out there. Because Ben is a narcissist. He wants to date himself. Yeah. No one is more attractive to Ben than Ben himself. He wants Ben inside of a woman, right? Yep. And I feel like he gets something from that. And you know, whether they're doing things together or not, that relationship they have is not good. Like that's the same way she got set inside the store to get the headphones is the same way that, you know, you would send your girlfriend or your boyfriend to go inside the store and get something, right? And it's kind of not right and weird. And I get that she's looking for purpose, looking for fulfillment. And it's like she sees a bit of money or she sees some views, the clout and stuff. And you know what the thing is? The clout will never fill you. The clout is never going to give you peace in your soul. But what does
they say that they're so deranged, they will say, oh, that's cope. And it's like, isn't it just known, like chat my crazy, isn't it just known that like people know deep down, like fame isn't going to make you happy. Money isn't going to make you happy. You know, when you're searching for those outside things like that, it always just is like, it's like scratching an itch or wound that just gets bigger and bigger as you scratch it instead of letting it heal, you know, and finding a more sustainable way to be.
Yeah, how can you expect anything outside to fix your inside? You know what I mean? You're looking for outward things to fix inward problems. It just doesn't work.
Yeah. You know? Yeah, it's really sad. So what's your experience like with spiritual warfare? What does that feel like for you usually?
All right, so you don't even want to know.
I'm scared. Well,
I don't know. It depends. How many viewers you want to lose?
I'm just curious. You know, you don't have to say. I just am curious how it manifests for other people.
All right, so I got several. All right, listen, I'm not crazy. I'm giving you an advisory. I never had to deal with demonic voices except for 7 years ago, and these are not the same ones, but they're demons. There's Nephilim. So when the flood happened, right, when God flooded the earth, there was Nephilim beings on the earth, which were the byproduct of angels mating with humans. And yes, the original Jews believed this. The ancient Jews actually
I've heard of those. I've heard Nephilim before. I've heard that term.
So when the world was flooded, all the spirits, they couldn't go to heaven nor hell because that wasn't created for them. So what everybody believes are ghosts, those are Nephilim. You say a house is haunted? No, it's filled with demons. It's not haunted.
Dude, it's scary as fuck to think about, honestly.
Yeah, so I can hear about 6 of them, and they have distinct voices that never change. They're having a conversation right now, and the thing is, it's not my subconscious because it's not stuff I'm even thinking about or saying. You know, they're doing their own thing, and they're sort of doing disgusting things. But the other thing is they try to get me to sin. They try to remind me of my past and embarrass me with it, right? They bring up how I was a man whore and all these other things. I ruined people's marriages by sleeping with people's wives and like all this. They bring up my past, right? They're trying to get me down, make me feel like I'm not worthy and all this other stuff. And
there is that pull, like a lot of people deal with the pull towards darkness or pull towards being bad. Like for me, it's like in my mind when I'm like, oh, fuck it. Like, or, you know, like I feel like my outburst at the clinic was involuntary. There was no thought process. But when I'm walking back, I felt that struggle of like my thoughts being like, I want to throw a brick through the window. I want to like get back at them, you know, even though it's like this dumb situation.
Yeah, that's spiritual warfare. And the thing is, people suffer from a few different things. You either suffer from like wrath, you suffer from lust, and I wish it was schizophrenia. But guess what? I thought I was crazy. I thought I honestly was for a minute. I started taking olanzapine. For the time I thought I was crazy, it didn't make it stop.
Yeah.
When I had schizo problems before, I don't take these by the way. I don't take them. When I had schizo problems when I was younger, Seroquel would take it away immediately. It doesn't feel like
that's what made me fat as fuck.
It doesn't. Yeah, it does make you fat, but it's not the same kind of thing. It only happens with the air and the water. It even says in the Bible that the demonic spirits speak through the air and the water, and they seek what they are seeking water, and they search through waterless places, meaning they are deprived of water. So water is one of the mediums that's why there's ancient religions all over the world that worship water spirits.
Water. Yeah.
They worship water spirits, dude, in Africa and everything else, dude. And they worship water deities. So yeah, those same water deities are demons that I'm dealing with right now. But the thing is, they try to attack me by lust. That's my number one. You know what I mean?
A lot of men struggle with that, especially with the internet. You know, just constantly throwing tits in your fucking face, you know, and like it's all so degenerated and primal, and
Yeah. And the thing is, there's so many women out there that are dressed like that and this and that, and they're not saved. Satan just throws them right in front of your path, wearing skinny stuff, all tight clothing. It's crazy.
Yeah. I like that idea of distinction.
They'll be bending over deliberately for me, like literally bending in my direction and everything. It's crazy.
King says, TJ and Ruby, I went this deep before as well, but I love the dark side. But see, some people just fully engage, and I was like that too. I was hedonistic. I was like literally, I did not see my life extending beyond my 20s. You know, I thought I was going to live fast, die young, do drugs, like, you know, be a musician, and just like live this really out of control life. And I was interested in debauchery. I was drawn towards being a topless house cleaner, towards going to work at a strip club. I was drawn to it. I enjoyed that kind of energy. So I can understand that pull. And I've even felt that pull like by listening to certain music. All of a sudden I'm like, bro, I want to go like do drugs and like hang out with drug dealers. I don't know. But like I said, I've been really strong in my sobriety. Thank fucking God. Thank fucking God. The Nickercator. I wanted to update on Nickercator. Topless, you missed your... It's dark though. I was underage. I moved out when I was 16. I was living in like this artist studio warehouse place. And I shared a bunk bed with a girl who was older. She was like 23. I was 16, just about to turn 17. And we shared a bunk bed, and one of my gay male friends started doing nude house cleaning. And he was doing like webcam modeling, and this was very early. It's like 2007, like super early on stuff. So me I just turned 17 when we started doing it. Me and the girl set an ad on Craigslist, and we paid our friend to drive us and to wait outside in case anything happened. And it was like this weird little enterprise we did, but it got scary, obviously, and messy, obviously. And yeah.
Isn't it how crazy that lifestyle can get, right? Like,
yeah, and I was gung-ho for it because I idolized people like Kurt Cobain, Courtney Love, Sid Vicious, Darby Crush. Those were the people I genuinely idolized, you know, and wanted to be like. Unfortunately, I was never outwardly destructive to others, but I didn't give a fuck about. I thought it was cool that I was like a topless house cleaner and getting all this money, you know, and just playing in punk bands, and it was, you know, it was definitely fun.
It was inwardly destructive, but it was almost like there's almost like beauty. I'm not gonna say glorified destruction, but there's almost like beauty in destruction, right? Because it's like you are seeing the worst of yourself and just come out of you, right? And it's like the thing is, right? Those things are highly entertaining, right? Being a rock star, living that lifestyle, it is fun. It is a thrill. I did it too. I played Warped Tour, everything. It was a local stage, of course, but it was a crazy time. The drugs were always there, the parties were always there, and it gives you a rush and a feeling that you just can't like like achieve like with just
Yeah,
regular means.
Yeah, when you're a creative person, you're not only like you're literally high on drugs and also experiencing the joy of playing music you've worked hard at and seeing people enjoy it. It's all these things combined into this very intense, addictive experience. But, for me, the pandemic shut down the music scene, and I just ended up doing YouTube. And, and I'm getting older anyway, and the drugs and shit.
Yeah, it's not worth it.
I've seen NDR. I would like if I were gonna label them in my Discord, they would go under like not purgatory, but maybe suspect. But they're mostly friendly, I try not to take it personal. People treat like my life, I've realized since I put it out there, it becomes like a WWE thing. They're like,
oh, it's like a show, dude. It's like the Truman Show. You know that movie where he's followed by cameras and everybody's just watching. Yeah.
The movie that unleashed 1,000 psychotic episodes or millions, possibly.
But that's okay, because like the thing is, you put your life out there, but you inspire and you give hope through your testimony and like what you've overcome and what you've been through. And the thing is, what makes you strong is how hard you could take a punch from life and then keep moving. That's what that's what Rocky's all about. It's badass.
Exactly. And that's what like you're gonna lose in life if you're fixating on revenge. Vengeance is for the Lord, and it's almost always it's an evil trick because you are mutilating yourself in the process. You're setting yourself on fire to do like a 3rd-degree burn on someone who's like 20 feet away. It's utterly self-destructive. So I try to not even entertain those kinds of impulses, and just try to, life can beat you down. And people say I'm toxic positive. Bitch, I had to be positive. Okay.
No, you have to be
lining in anything. But like I've had a lot of hard things happen in my life. Yeah, I gotta try to look at the positive. Like, sure, I could cry all day about everything hard in my life. Like, I just don't. I don't know why that's toxic. Like,
it's toxic because
I've been all
negative.
the time.
It's toxic because they're so negative. They got so much negativity inside of them that like your positivity, it's offensive to them. That's what it is. I had an ex-girlfriend, right? She was so miserable and so depressed and everything else, right? She saw people like families being happy with their children and stuff say, "Oh, that's impossible. That's not real." Yeah.
Yep.
And then
people like that
when
too.
they think it's real, they're offended.
Yeah, they just live through this negative lens where they think anyone who's happy, and that's so sad. They actually don't believe happiness exists. They don't believe in contentment. They think everyone's faking it or it's some kind of performance. And a lot of people do put on that performance, but there's a lot of people just living their lives who are happy, and there's a lot of people who are very hateful, And I can be a hater at times too, but I feel like the hate I throw out is usually somewhat warranted, at least.
Yeah, no, sometimes it's righteous, you know what I mean? So sometimes it's needed.
Ava is curious about
I follow Jesus and I read the Bible. That's what I do. I'm a follower of the way, truth, and the life. I try to be like the early Christians. Break down the walls of denomination. But
that's like how me and Lo have a similar thing. Like I was an atheist for most of my life, so I really intellectually struggle with it, but the thing is, it's something that's not discerned by your intellect. It's discerned by your spirit. So
it's Holy Spirit, yes.
It's so hard to... There's nothing anyone could have said to me. I just happened to cry out to God and get healed in a horrible moment during my fentanyl withdrawal. And there's 2 options. It's either mental illness, mania, psychotic break, or, I was connected to God and I have had these very tangible improvements in my life. So whether it's a placebo or just from the mindset,
no, it's not
almost
placebo.
It's almost irrelevant. But like, I do believe, obviously,
Oh no, of course.
Perception. I just got a long comment. I don't know if it's like a spam thing. It looks like it. I only get like spam bots on my Kick. I don't know how to get in the Kick algorithm, but I think it's pretty. I don't know.
Kick. See, here's the thing with Kick. Kick doesn't really push you out there until you hit a certain bracket, and then what it starts to do is it starts to put it on the side. Otherwise, you have to rely on tags, I think. For tags.
I have no tags.
Yeah, to be found, unfortunately. And
that That makes sense. That's
So
kind
it's
of
like
like
if people search like Thorpe's or lolcow or like, and then like, you know what I mean, stuff like that, or like whatever genre, like entertainment stuff like that, they could find you a little better. But
okay. Well, that's good to know because I didn't start. I just connected at the StreamYard, so I know it's finally working to just stream over there. I'm glad my videos are being hosted somewhere else, so I have a backup to go to. But I haven't seen many commentary or much action in that arena. Oh yeah, Ava's. I feel so blessed. Just that as much pain, and calamity has come from my collaboration with the Thorpes, which feels like a lifetime ago, but was less than a year ago somehow.
But she's a thorough friend, she's thorough.
Ava's a real one. Yeah, she really is.
Yeah.
I appreciate our friendship. We started as enemies, but it wasn't really over anything real. It was just dumb shit that was through the Thorpes, basically. It was just, but we wrapped it out. We had a very healing rap battle on John Galt, and then ever since then it's been easy peasy. And we're branching out. We're recruiting new bitches. We've got Lo in the mix. And
yeah, Lo is cool. I like Lo.
She is. Did you see the balloons I found?
No. You gotta
Speaking
show
of
me.
Lo,
oh, that's crazy. That's legit. You literally got her name. That's what's up. That's awesome. That's
great.
Perfect. Yeah, that's perfect.
And it was right before, I think, Celebrity Sunday. I was running out to grab a Red Bull, and someone was throwing out these balloons, and I just saw balloons. I was like, that'd be a fun prop just to have, it's free balloons. And they were about to pop in. I was like, no. And I was rushing to get back, so I didn't even look at them. And then I saw it said Lo, and I was like, unreal. What a coincidence. Or what a divine, synchronicity. Who knows?
Isn't that weird how that works? But I think stuff like that is ordained, right? Like, you might call me crazy, the chat might call me crazy, whatever. But like, I believe that God orchestrates all the little things and all the big things, and he gives us choices to make, right? He's like, all right, he doesn't make the evil stuff happen, but he knows what evil's gonna do. And he's like, are you gonna go that way or are you gonna go this way? And that's every person in life. Whether you believe in God or not, that's everything in life, right? He says the law is written on our hearts, right? So what is right and what is wrong is inside of us. Nobody has an excuse. Like, if you're doing evil stuff, it's because you're choosing to do evil, right? But the thing is, right, like addiction, that's an evil that is not done intentionally. That is an evil that people fall into, and then they can't get out of it. It's different from, being abusive or whatever like that. But yeah, I don't know. There's so much evil in this world right now, and I feel like it's just growing.
It's absolutely, and that's why I see so much of it in the streaming world. And Lo is like, I'm just so glad that I found her. Like, we found each other. Our paths crossed on a totally random like Halloween costume competition. We interacted, I think, for the first time, and she's just such a positive influence for me, and as such a just has a great spiritual influence, a great vibe, and I'm just so glad she's bringing a different kind of content that isn't about the drama. She just knows how to shut it down. She does not, she'll lay down the law. Funny moments happen, but she just doesn't engage in the bullshit. She just really doesn't, She
doesn't entertain
I love
it.
That about her.
Yeah, and that's awesome, because it's like, if you don't entertain it, well, then it doesn't blow up into something bigger. Now, Lo is cool.
Yeah, I know our trip is going to be amazing because we've all just gotten along really well, and we're all communicative and similar socially, which I think is important. Some people are just outgoing around the clock. Some people are introverted around the clock. I think we all have we're all kind of ambiverts, where we like our social time, we like our alone time. And for me, it's really important that I don't get too emotionally dysregulated. So sometimes I have to just set a boundary, be like, I can't do something because I might freak out, or I don't know. I just know when I'm pushing myself too hard, and I don't know. Even though now it's people love freakouts. I'm sure at some point I'll probably freak out in the airport. I hate traveling.
Well, it's a stressful situation, 100%. So I'm gonna hop off. I'm gonna get something to eat. But what I am gonna say is, I think that you are moving in a really good direction, and that just let your spirit guide you, and it's not gonna do you wrong, like the Holy Spirit. But the things you got planned, like you guys have such great things planned in the future, right? It's actually got like a vision. It's actually, you know what I mean? There's actually like a purpose in what you're doing. So
I really
I
feel
think it's
that.
going to
And
be
I'm so glad
blessed.
people are allied with us, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that's why it's going to be blessed. I think it's going to be beautiful. I think it's going to work out. Yeah, let me know what the date on all that stuff and definitely stream it. So, all right, I'm
Awesome.
going to head off. I'll see you later.
Yeah, thank you
Peace.
so much. It was so nice to catch up with you. It's been a while. So, yeah. And everyone, check out TJ's channel. Like, he's someone else who we have our similarities, and much like Lo, we're not like these hyper religious people. We're spiritual. We
Yeah,
connect with God, with
spiritually.
Jesus, in the Bible, but we're all very open minded and have been through some weird shit, So that's the vibe. And I'm on that vibe. So I'm here for it.
Absolutely. We're not legalists, and we're not people that you're forced to stick to like some man-made tradition just because they say so. Like, you know what I mean?
Mhm.
I think when you're just led by the spirit, and I appreciate that shout out, by the way. And anyone that wants to come by, appreciate you as well. Yeah, it's been really good catching up, Ruby, and I'll see you around. And definitely I'll be seeing what you got going on, because I know you got a lot in the future. So
It's got lots in store. So yeah, shout out TJ. Thank you so much for coming.
absolutely. Yes.
We have someone, Alien Popcorn. Does anyone recognize his name? Because I'm scared. Actually, it looks familiar. Sorry. Everyone has like